Yeah, I did change, and I'm really glad I changed, because rather than getting drunk, falling out of clubs, taking drugs, I'd now found the love of my life, and I now have the opportunity to start a family with her.
The saga of Harry and Meghan Markle, once the dazzling darlings of the British monarchy, has taken a turn so steep it could make a royal carriage wheel spin. From the heights of royal fame to the humbling endeavor of selling jam in the US, their journey is nothing short of a Shakespearean drama. As whispers of Meghan's reluctance to play second fiddle to Catherine grow louder, and with the pair reportedly eyeing a return to the UK, one can't help but marvel at the irony. Here we delve into the spectacular fall of the Sussexes and the burning question: how did the golden couple become the monarchy's most controversial outcasts? Harry and Meghan Markle have experienced a significant drop in popularity, largely attributed to Meghan's reluctance to be subordinate to Catherine, according to royal expert Hilary Fordwich. Once highly popular royals, Harry and Meghan now rank low in public favor, with a YouGov poll showing Meghan as the second least popular royal, just above Prince Andrew. Reports suggest they may consider returning to the UK, although royal commentator Richard Eden doubts they wouldn't be welcomed back into the monarchy, especially once Prince William becomes king. No doubt but certainty, the duo of Meghan and Harry will never be welcomed back into the royal fold. The conflicts and tensions have escalated to an irreconcilable point, rendering them outsiders in the royal narrative. By deciding to leave the British royal family, Meghan and Harry have severed the final threads of connection with the monarchy, a move that was not just a personal decision, but a revolution against long-standing traditions. Their departure did not occur peacefully. It was accompanied by harsh accusations and criticisms from both sides. Meghan's refusal to stand in Catherine's shadow and her desire to be the center of attention fanned the flames of discord. Their stubbornness and personal ambitions led them down a path where a return seemed impossible. The royal family, with all its traditions and ceremonies, cannot accept such betrayal. The dignity and sustainability of the monarchy do not allow any individual, even family members, to disrupt the harmony and discipline maintained for centuries. Furthermore, Harry and Meghan have lost the trust and respect of the public, which no return could salvage. Meanwhile, the British royal family continues to operate like a well-oiled machine, with other members fulfilling their duties and responsibilities. Harry and Meghan's image now stands as a dark chapter, a lesson in betrayal and the consequences of disrespecting family traditions and values. Should Harry and Meghan genuinely wish to return, they will face a formidable wall of rejection and skepticism, not just from the royal family but also from the public, who once adored them and now feel betrayed. Their decision to leave granted them freedom, but also took away any chance of a return. The British royal family, with all its pride and history, will continue to move forward without them. Harry is delusional if he believes there is a chance for them to have a role within the monarchy providing he heals the rift with the family, whilst King Charles III is on the throne. Most people recognize that compared to our late Queen, the King's reign will be relatively short. In light of his recent ill health, it could regrettably be even shorter than anticipated. Regardless, at 75 years old, the King will be preparing the monarchy for William's eventual ascension, and for certain he would not offer Henry and Rachel a role unless it was with William's compliance. I think it's fairly safe to assume that William wanting his disloyal, backstabbing brother as a working member of the monarchy is 0 to none. It's annoying to hear that Harry and Meghan Markle's royal exit all stemmed from the Duchess not wanting to be number 2 to Catherine. I said the same thing too, 3 years ago. Harry might pop back and forth, but Meghan will not accompany him. If she did, she would have to curtsy to all those above her in the royal pecking order, and becoming second or third is something she would never do. It's ironic, isn't it? Meghan Markle, who once basked in the limelight of royal engagements and ceremonies, couldn't bear the thought of being second to Catherine. This aversion to playing second fiddle fueled their dramatic exit from the royal family, a move that has since turned their lives into a veritable soap opera. Meghan's disdain for protocol and hierarchy speaks volumes about her true intentions. It was never about service or duty, but about status and spotlight. Harry, on the other hand, seems to be caught in a perpetual tug-of-war between his royal heritage and his new life in America. His occasional visits back to the UK underscore a deep-seated nostalgia and a yearning for the life he once knew, despite the bridges burned. Yet, Meghan's absence during these trips is telling. She would rather remain in her Californian bubble than face the reality of curtsying to those higher in the royal hierarchy, a tradition steeped in centuries of respect and duty. One cannot help but marvel at the irony. Meghan, who once proclaimed her desire to hit the ground running within the royal family, could not stomach the very structure that defines it. Her reluctance to acknowledge her place within the royal pecking order reveals a profound lack of understanding and respect for the institution she married into. Rather than embracing the role she vowed to undertake, she chose to flee at the first sign of subordination, dragging Harry along in her quest for independence. This departure, cloaked in the rhetoric of seeking freedom and privacy, has done little but highlight their insatiable need for attention. The irony is palpable. They left the royal family to escape the scrutiny, only to find themselves embroiled in a relentless pursuit of media attention, from Oprah interviews to Netflix deals. Meghan's refusal to be number two has not only alienated her from the royal family, but also exposed the superficiality of their motivations. Harry's sporadic returns to the UK are a stark reminder of what he left behind, a life of duty, tradition, and family bonds. Meghan's choice to stay away is not just a matter of avoiding curtsies, it's a blatant refusal to integrate into a system that demands respect and humility. It's almost amusing to think that a duchess, so intent on rewriting her narrative, fails to see that true nobility lies not in the title, but in the grace with which one accepts their role. In the end, Meghan and Harry's saga serves as a cautionary tale. Their quest for autonomy has led them down a path of self-imposed exile, where the glitter of Hollywood fails to mask the emptiness of forsaken duty. Meghan's unwillingness to be second or third has stripped them of the very essence that once made them admirable, a sense of service, honor, and commitment to something greater than themselves. And she knows she's disliked by many of us in the UK and would probably be booed if she showed her face. The other reason is that she'd never suffer the ignominy of playing second fiddle to Catherine and those royals above her. If they had gone and lived a quiet life, minus the childish, spiteful muckraking, they could have come back. They went way too far, and I don't doubt the honest truth is they both wish they could turn the clock back and start again. Harry was protected from himself inside the royal family, a nightmare, no doubt, a challenge from an early age, a tragedy waiting to happen. If King Charles allows Harry and Meghan to return, I really don't understand and cannot accept it. Why would the king put William and his family in such danger? This guy gave instructions on how to enter his house. He said he tried to run alive his father. His wife wants to be on the same level as the future queen. Those two tried to destroy the monarchy cause they weren't allowed to become equal with the future king and queen. They are unstable, as he said, best luck with their life overseas. A total lack of humbleness is the core problem here. Harry lacks any, she lacks any. They could have had a beautiful life, one to be proud of for their children and themselves. One of the major problems, from what I have read, is that his mother convinced him that he should have been the heir. I'm sure she meant well, but he obviously believed it. Now throw in a gold hunter with an obsession with being Diana 2.0 and well, here we are. I do not think I would trust them physically around my family if I were Prince William. All of the photos of her giving side eyes or strange looks, not to be trusted. There is something not right with her. Exactly. Meghan did not understand about the inheritance Prince William would receive when King Charles ascended the throne and imagined the brothers would each have half. If this had been any other family, perhaps. But this was the royal family with traditional protocols in place. My blood runs cold at the idea of Meghan burning through half the Duchy of Cornwall on plastic surgery and appalling clothes. At least Prince William is starting to make social progress, with his plans to tackle homelessness, for example. Yet in her famous TV interview, Diana suggested that Prince Charles should step aside and allow Prince William to become king. Never heard that she felt Harry ought to have been heir. As an aristocrat herself, she knew the order of things, so it seems unlikely she thought it. If mentioned at all, it may have been a throwaway remark from Diana. It is known that a boy Prince William dreaded the idea of being monarch, and Harry said he would do it. In that instance, she may have said he should have been the heir, would not mean she believed it, as in his being better suited to the role. For myself, I am so grateful that Prince William was the firstborn. Harry probably held hopes that William would abdicate. When he didn't, and the children came along making it more impossible for him to take William's place, it just needed the Markle woman to help light the fuse of deep discontent in Harry. He was already envious, but she was such a social climber that she egged him on. To actually think they should be entitled to half the Duchy of Cornwall and to live in Windsor Castle shows how jealous they both were, and they realized that they would only ever have a supporting role to William and Catherine. William was worth billions, Harry only millions, and that was not good enough for Meghan. I can't wait until someone starts delving into Archewell's books to see where the actual money goes. How on earth was she going to hit the ground running when she can't even grasp the basics? She married a second child. She needs to study history. She was described as a working and self-made woman and more suitable than Catherine. Of course, when she used men to get anywhere, that hardly makes her self-made. They plunged into the deep, dark depths of nastiness years ago. They would need to do a lot more than asking forgiveness to improve their standing. Please stop telling us they are plunging, because they are already at the bottom of the barrel. Meghan, can't you get anything right? Second fiddle to Catherine now, second fiddle to Andy. Always second. Harry and Meg have clearly shown what life they wanted, not to be part of the royal firm. Yet the craving to be doing what royals do is clear. As the pair are in the second Edward and Simpson mode, then go off on your jollies paid through Archewell till too old to do things that would be interesting to others, and live separately. Don't see this marriage lasting. Harry and Meghan's uncontrolled descent and the largest drop in popularity in history were inevitable, and they could even face more severe consequences, losing everything. By leaving the royal family, they chose a risky path where public attention no longer protects them, but becomes a double-edged sword ready to strike at any moment. This downfall is not only a result of their separation from the royal family, but also due to their chosen methods of self-promotion and media engagement. Constant appearances in the media, participation in controversial interviews, and collaborations with entertainment companies have transformed them from royal icons into mere entertainment figures. Their pride and personal ambition have blinded them to the harsh reality that fame and adoration cannot be bought with money or ambition. The consequences could be even worse if they continue on this path. Losing everything doesn't just stop at losing their position and public esteem. It could also mean complete isolation from the family and the loss of opportunities to restore their honor. Harry, once a beloved prince, now faces the harsh reality that the freedom he pursued might render him an anonymous figure, lost in the crowd without any support. Meghan, with her ambition and ego, did not foresee that abandoning a traditional system would lead to serious repercussions. Without the royal family's protection, they must face public scrutiny on their own, which is not always easy to endure. They may suffer financial decline, lose support from former allies, and even experience mental deterioration when confronted with the harsh reality of isolation and criticism. While the royal family continues to operate steadily and resiliently, Harry and Meghan are lost in their quest for acceptance and respect, which they themselves abandoned. Their decision to leave the royal family was not only a strategic mistake, but also an arrogant step, lacking a deep understanding of the true value of the position and role they once held. In the end, they may have to face the fact that everything they sacrificed for may never be regained. They only want to come back because they are running out of money. Nobody wants anything to do with them, and everything they have done to make money they have failed at. Princess Catherine will always rank higher than Markle because she is going to be our next queen, and Markle will always be just married to the ex-Spear who has tantrums when he doesn't get his own way. When Harry and Meghan walked away from the firm, they should have made it a clean break, sans all the acrimony and dirty laundry. And while Harry might have regrets and wish to reconcile with the royal family, Meghan will never accept second place in the hierarchy. The day may come when Harry has to choose between the royal family and Meghan and their kids. After all, absolutely no chance. Hell will freeze over first before Harry is ever welcomed back. His father might want him, but true monarchists will never forgive him, and his bit on the side has anything to do with the royal family ever. His name is Henry, and he will have to stay away, especially if he brings the witch with him. The troubling part with this pair is they are bewildered by the public's reaction to them, but keep on doing the same unacceptable behaviors. Please take them aside and show them the direct corresponding relationship between what they do and say and their declining popularity. Time for a reality check. Me again, the things you desperately wanted, unlimited cash flow, the fame of being in the firm, wanting to have the adulation of the masses, all to massage your ego. Well, if you had played the game and worked for the firm instead of against it, you may have achieved some of what you wanted, but now, just a sideshow Bob. The irony is it did not have to happen. Catherine was quite willing to share the spotlight with Meghan. No hint ever of any jealousy by the future queen. Not good enough for Meghan. She had to be number one. It was never going to happen, and Harry failed his wife miserably if he did not make that clear from the start. Of course, many of us think that was just a cover, for the fact is, Meg's likely never had the intention of making a permanent life with the royal family, for she has never been a team player, and the monarchy requires the members to be first of all team players. As an American, she is not popular here in the States, and as for her being more popular than Catherine ever is preposterous. I truly believe that those who think her popular are probably paid to say that, and as for two kinds of jams, jellies, and dog biscuits, please, give me a break. She doesn't have a domestic bone in her body. No. I'm sure the numbers in this new poll will make them so very sad. Oh, a YouGov poll says that they are at minus 1,987% unpopular, oh dear. How can they go on living? Meanwhile, Catherine is at Trooping the Color, the same dreary trooping every year. How fun. Catherine has tens of thousands of people cheering for her and wishing her well at the Trooping of the Color. Meghan has to beg people to plug her jam and dog biscuits. I know which of them is more deservedly popular without needing a poll. Bet she's regretting leaving the royal family now. Prince William and his children attended Taylor Swift's concert and had photos taken with her. Bet she's throwing her toys out of the pram now. Besides, the couple went from being the royal family's main attraction to selling jam in the U.S., a royal expert has claimed. Hilary Fordwich, a royal commentator based in the U.S., is wrong about Harry and Meghan. First, they were never the royal family's main attraction, but more than that, they have not gone on to selling jam in the U.S. or anywhere else. They have gone on to giving jam away for free. Difficult to see how that will improve their bank balances, especially as some of that jam has speedily found its way straight back to its sender. Bless you for that, Kevin Costner, and anyone else who took a note from him and followed suit with their strangely colored jam of undetermined provenance and cleanliness. It's right, no one made Meghan and Harry leave the royal family. It was a decision made by Meghan because she was not number one, was not going to be a princess as Catherine is, live in a castle, and have everyone but the late Queen curtsy to her. She found out instead that she would have to curtsy to Catherine, Beatrice, Eugenie, and the Wales children. When she found out that she would never be queen, she packed up and left. The problem is, Meghan is so full of herself that she will think nothing of the jam being returned. She will send it to someone else, maybe to Harry's polo buddy, and he can dip the doggy biscuits in the jam. Just think of the good Harry could have achieved in the world if he had taken more care in his choice of partner. He has been alienated from everyone who cared and loved him, and left with the devil herself who will drain him of everything he owns, then move on to the next clown. That's her history. I can't see the king ever trusting Harry in any royal role ever again. I, like many people, are tired of the whole Harry was the most popular royal. He never was. Queen Elizabeth II beat him hands down every time. Yes, he was popular, and on the face of it, he came across as a man who had grown up and found a path and a purpose in life, walking with the wounded, with the support of the palace, William and Catherine in conjunction with the MOD. He was the face of the Invictus Games. At that time, he had the good grace to acknowledge it was a team effort. His speeches back then were always we and not I. Oh, how times have changed. Now it's me, me, me. Fast forward 4 years, it has come as a shock to many people that the affable Harry is anything but. The Harry we knew and saw was propped up and guided by the palace machine, and more's the point, he is incredibly lazy with an overreaching sense of self-importance and entitlement. Harry's most recent action has sparked a raging storm of controversy, which has sent shockwaves through the royal family and fascinated the world. There has been a lot of criticism around this move, due to the fact that the youngest son of King Charles has committed a transgression that many people consider to be unforgivable. The monarchy is currently experiencing unparalleled turmoil. There are rumors of treachery and severe allegations circulating throughout Buckingham Palace, which has left the general public in a state of suspense as tensions reach a boiling point. Is it even possible that Harry might have done something that would have caused his own father to respond in such a harsh manner? A revelation that is so shocking that it has the potential to completely transform the royal landscape is where the answer can be found. According to reports, King Charles is unable to forgive Harry for insulting Queen Camilla in his memoir, which is titled Simply Spare. His efforts to engage in peace discussions with the royal family have been ignored, despite the fact that Harry has made those attempts. The memoir written by Harry, which was published in January 2023, is extremely critical of Camilla. He refers to her as a villain and alleges that she is to blame for the dissolution of Charles's marriage to Princess Diana. It is explained by Christopher Anderson, the author of The King, that Charles does not forgive Camilla for her criticism. Interviews and films have provided a wealth of information regarding the tumultuous relationship that Harry and Meghan have with the royal family. It was in 2005 when Charles and Camilla tied the knot, and it was finally Camilla who became queen. Camilla has garnered support through her charitable efforts, despite the backlash she has received from the public. Camilla is referred to as an anchor for Charles by Omid Scobie, who believes that she is essential to his stability. That's it for Harry. His father and the rest of his estranged family will never forgive him for the onslaught of insults, falsehoods, and abuse that he and his brothers have directed at them. He will never be forgiven by them. In addition, I am of the opinion that the king did not forgive the remarks that were made about his wife. I seem to recall that he told his late mother that his relationship with Camilla was non-negotiable. As a result, he took a firm stance even at that time, and Her Majesty had to come to terms with the fact that she was going to be a part of his life. What kind of results have you seen from that? Because I am a member of Team Camilla, I am of the opinion that she is deserving of every positive compliment that she receives. Up to this point, she has been doing an outstanding job in a field that she was not born into. Please give it some time to relax, Harry. Now that Diana has been gone for 27 years, the world has moved on. William is an adult who has the ability to choose who he associates with, and Diana is not a saint, despite the fact that some people portray her as such. Get over the fact that Camilla is our queen, regardless of whether you like it or not. Up to this point, she has been doing a very good job at it. Isn't Harry acting quite so self-centered, if I may ask? Not only does King Charles require a wife, but he also requires a nurturing mother for his children and a companion who is able to provide him with support over the lengthy voyage that lies ahead. Taking on this responsibility with bravery and commitment is Camilla's dedication. Despite the fact that she was not born into the royal family, she has accepted all of the criticisms and demands that have been directed on her in order to become an essential component of Charles's life. She has demonstrated via her actions that she is a trustworthy partner and a calming influence that assists Charles in overcoming a variety of obstacles. The fact that Harry's father's relationship with Camilla is not solely founded on love, but also on cooperation and mutual support during difficult times, appears to be something that Harry does not seem to comprehend. Not only is it a betrayal of his father to criticize Camilla in public, but it is also a contempt for the work and sacrifices that she has placed forth. To demonstrate her worth, Camilla has triumphed over a great number of challenges that she has encountered. Instead of showing his family and loved ones support and standing by them, Harry prefers to publicly trash and hurt them. Not only does this behavior cause harm to his father, but it also erodes the already fragile relationships that exist within the family. Harry must come to the realization that it is not simple to construct a family that is both joyful and sustainable, and that it is unacceptable to destroy it for the sole purpose of satisfying their own selfish ego. Camilla is the one that King Charles chose because she provides him with the solace and support that he so desperately requires. Harry should learn to understand and appreciate his father's decision rather than continue to criticize it. This will not only enable him to re-establish connections within the family, but it will also assist him in protecting the honor of individuals whom his father loves. I want you, Harry, to take a look at the kind of woman you plan to have. An extremely dangerous and poisonous snake. It is impossible for Meghan to compete with Camilla. In contrast to Camilla, who has demonstrated her unflinching allegiance to the royal family and made countless sacrifices for them, Meghan has merely produced issues and controversy that are not required. The calm and stability that King Charles so sorely needs at this vital time of his life has been brought to him by Camilla, who has taken on the duties of a mother, a life partner, and a real friend. Meghan, on the other hand, appears to be more intent on creating her own celebrity, and she is not ashamed to utilize her royal status for her own personal gain. Not only did Meghan and Harry's public critiques of the royal family cause harm to their loved ones, but they also harmed the reputation of an institution that has been around for generations. Meghan continually stirs up problems with her outspoken remarks and acts, in contrast to Camilla, who works quietly, supporting humanitarian activities and contributing to the growth of society. It is necessary for Harry to engage in introspection and inquire as to whether or not his choice to depart from the royal family and embark on a new life with Meghan was, in fact, the correct one. Love is not the only factor to consider when selecting a life partner. Other factors include mutual understanding and respect, as well as the capacity to make a meaningful contribution to the lives of the other person. Meghan has demonstrated that she does not possess these qualities, whilst Camilla has demonstrated just the contrary. Reconsidering his conduct and making an effort to settle his differences with his father, King Charles, is something that Harry ought to do if he truly cares about the honor and happiness of his family. Continuing to criticize and attack will only serve to further exacerbate the existing split and inflict additional harm. Harry needs to realize that harmony and mutual respect are essential components in the process of constructing and sustaining a happy family, and he ought to take a lesson from the great attributes that Camilla has exhibited. To summarize, King Charles and the rest of the royal family will never forgive, and there is no possibility that Harry will ever be able to rectify his behavior. Damage that cannot be repaired has been done to his family as a result of his public acts and remarks that degrade them. To add insult to injury, Harry's persistent disclosures of family secrets and scandals in the media have only served to further damage the reputation of the royal family. It would appear that Harry is completely unaware of the idea that each time he makes an appearance on television or does an interview, he not only tarnishes his personal image, but also undermines the public's relationship with the royal family. His charges and complaints do not elicit any sympathy from the general public. Rather, they provoke wrath and a sense of estrangement in the audience. Furthermore, in order to seek a new life, Harry gave up his duties and responsibilities within the royal family. It was because of this decision that he became estranged from the rest of his family members, and this distance cannot be closed. By resigning from his position, he severed the previous connections he had with the people he cared about the most. In addition, the fact that Harry and Meghan frequently use the media to criticize the royal family causes other members of the family to feel as though they have been misled and insulted. These wounds are not readily healed, and if Harry does not adjust his attitude and actions, this disagreement may continue for an endless amount of time instead of being resolved. At the end of the day, Harry needs to realize that merely coming back and apologizing is not always sufficient to heal the wounds that he has inflicted. In order to be a member of the royal family, Harry must demonstrate sincerity and a dedication to the royal family for an extended period of time, which he has not yet done. If Harry is serious about regaining his position within the family, he must demonstrate his desire to do so via his deeds rather than through his words. Although I still have feelings for Diana, I must say that the truth is always the truth. According to Diana, she was the first person to deviate from the path. In addition, she was rumored to have had multiple relationships throughout her marriage, including one that occurred between the births of William and Henry, as well as with a few married men. Charles and Camilla got back together at some point after he learned that Diana had been having an affair with one of her personal protection team members for at least a year. They both felt that their marriage was not fulfilling them. In addition, I may wish that Harry would open his eyes, but that is not going to happen because it would not be consistent with his victimization and woe-is-me attitude. Certainly, and Harry's prospects of survival are currently being blown away by the wind, along with the ashes of those bridges that have been burned down and the friends and family members who have been trodden upon. As a result of his repeated assaults on these individuals, he will not be granted any opportunities for redemption. That is something that must be kept in mind at all times. It wasn't simply a single incident, there were multiple assaults. In addition to attempting to undermine the British monarchy on multiple occasions, he also sought to implement his strategy to become wealthy in order to harm his own family. He is not deserving of any compassion or a second opportunity. Because Harry was so adamant about marrying the lady he desired, it seems inconceivable that his father would not do the same, especially considering that Queen Camilla is a much more pleasant individual. The decision that Harry made to marry Meghan was respected by his family, despite the controversy surrounding the decision. Nevertheless, he does not show the same level of respect to the person that his father has chosen to be his life partner. Over the course of her life, Camilla has demonstrated her value and commitment by being by King Charles' side through both good times and bad. In light of the fact that Camilla has demonstrated that she is a dependable and supporting role within the royal family, it is hypocritical for Harry to condemn his father for making a personal decision that is comparable to his own. In addition, Harry's unrelenting public comments are evidence of his lack of maturity and comprehension of the nuances that are inherent in royal life. It is unfortunate that he has decided to voice his frustrations in public rather than working through family issues in private, as this has caused unnecessary pain and division. It is not only detrimental to the reputation of the royal family, but it is also detrimental to his personal credibility at the same time. There is no constructive purpose served by the persistent negative spotlight that is placed on the family. Rather, it merely serves to create additional turmoil. Additionally, Harry's behaviors are indicative of a worrying pattern in which he seeks compassion and attention at the expense of maintaining the unity of his family. It appears that he is more interested in playing the victim than he is in seeking answers, since he persistently brings up previous grievances and criticizes members of the family. It is futile to take this strategy because it only serves to further alienate him from the people he initially held dear. It is time for Harry to acknowledge that he is responsible for his behavior and to work toward becoming more healing rather than continuing to cause conflict. Furthermore, the public has been exhausted by Harry's seemingly never-ending stream of accusations and the turmoil that has surrounded his personal life. The general public is experiencing a sense of exhaustion and dissatisfaction, and they would prefer to see the royal family concentrating on making constructive contributions to society, rather than engaging in internal strife to resolve their differences. It is widely believed that Harry's persistent attacks are motivated by self-interest and hinder the ability of the royal family to carry out their responsibilities in an efficient manner. Harry must ultimately realize that true leadership and respect are not achieved by inciting strife and animosity, but rather by cultivating togetherness and understanding among the members of the group. To demonstrate that he is sincerely concerned about the legacy that his family has left behind and the principles that they uphold, he needs to redirect his focus toward fostering peace and establishing bridges. If he waits until then, he will have a chance to restore the respect of the general public and find a place within the royal family that is both important and long-lasting. It is imperative that Harry ceases to attribute his father and mother's divorce, as well as Diana's later passing, completely to Camilla. There comes a point in time when playing the blame game can become self-destructive, and it seems like Harry has reached that point in his life. If Harry were to accept his father's decision in life, it would be beneficial, much as Harry anticipates that everyone will accept his wife. Bitterness is extremely detrimental to all parties involved. Well, that's all for today's video. Thank you very much for watching our video. And I want to know what you think about these issues. Please express your opinion in the comments below. Hope you will always be cheerful and happy. Don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos.